Hey, what's going on, movie lovers all over the world? You already know who it is. It's your favorite internet sweater, your boy Mikey Savage 21, bringing you another movie review. And today I'm going to be doing a review of the psychological horror film known as Cult of Chucky. And this serves as the 7th installment in the Chucky franchise and the direct sequel to Curse of Chucky. And this film stars Fiona Dourif, Michael Therriault, Adam Hurtig, Alex Vincent, Jennifer Tilly, Brad Dourif, and the movie is ultimately directed by longtime Chucky fan and writer and producer Don Mancini, with David Kershinger coming back as well. Alright guys, so I just got my copy. I got a little bit early thanks to the promotion that they had going on. I was able to not only get the Blu-ray early before it comes out, because it technically doesn't come out until tomorrow, and I went ahead and watched it so I could get my thoughts up, but it also came with, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it came with an autographed picture of Chucky with Don Mancini's name on it. So thank you guys over at NBC Universal, Don Mancini, Chucky himself. I'm so glad you guys sent this stuff to me. Alright, so again, this film takes place right after the events of Curse of Chucky. So, spoiler warning for those of you who have not seen Curse of Chucky, just in case. Where we last left Nica, she was ultimately found guilty of murdering her 5 family members, but we all know it was actually Chucky who did it. But she got blamed for it, and they sent her to the insane asylum, which is basically where we pick up in our movie. She has basically been in the same asylum for several years. They haven't mentioned how much in the film. And basically, she's been working with the illustrious Dr. Foley, played by Michael T's character. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not going to try to butcher the man's name. But Dr. Foley has basically hypnotized her into believing that she did not do this, but Chucky did this, and she ultimately comes to the understanding that maybe she really did do it and maybe Chucky didn't do it. So they decide to move her to a new facility. And so we also basically get to see Andy Barclay return as an adult. We get to see him go on his very first date, I guess, quote unquote. Doesn't unfortunately end so well, but one thing is revealed to us. It is revealed that the post-credit scene from Curse of Chucky did actually happen. He, in fact, did actually shoot Chucky, and he is keeping his severed head and slowly torturing him. So he has Chucky with him. Alright, so then we get introduced to the rest of our characters. We get introduced to Adam Hurtig's character of Malcolm, or Michael. They ultimately call him Multiple Malcolm because he has like multiple personalities living inside of him. We also get to see Grace Lynn Kung as Claire, Marina Stephenson Kerr as Angela. We also have Zach Santiago as Nurse Carlos. We have Ali Taryn as Nurse Ashley. And again, we have appearances throughout the film of Summer H. Howell as Alice Pierce. So my general thoughts on the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the experience. In terms of a Chucky movie, I think it was pretty solid. You know, it had some really good scares here and there. Again, at this point, we all know that Chucky's doing the killing, so the whole mystery aspect has been taken out. I mean, they play around in the film with it being Nica, but obviously we know it's Chucky that's really doing all the killing. But what's really going on in this film, I really can't talk about, because we're going to do non-spoilers, and then later on I'll do a spoilers review. But there is some crazy crap going on in this movie, and it sheds some light as to how Chucky has been able to come back film after film after film after film. And it references both Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. And we even have callbacks to Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, a little bit of Seed of Chucky, and we also have a callback ultimately to Curse of Chucky as well. And so Curse of Chucky ultimately was trying to reintroduce fans to Chucky, so you had the mystery aspect of, is he really the one doing the killing, or is it the little girl Alice doing the killing? Now we don't have the mystery aspect anymore. All we have now is Chucky and him killing. And does he kill people? Yes, he does. He kills a lot of people. Does he kill some people in some unique ways? He does, and he also has some callbacks as well. In terms of acting, like I said, Brad Dourif can do no wrong in my eyes, especially when he's voicing Chucky. I enjoyed every single moment when Chucky was on screen. I really did. I mean, the laugh, the jokes. I know my best friend, he's a huge Michael Myers fan, and I have another buddy of mine who is a huge Friday the 13th fan. Me personally, Child's Play has always been my favorite. out of all of the films, but then all of it together, it just, you know, oozes with awesomeness. And so same thing with this film. In terms of Fiona Dourif, I thought she also killed it as Nica Pierce. We got to see some volumes to her character a little bit, especially towards the later half of the end. Alex Vincent, is really good to see him back on the screen again playing Andy Barclay. Again, the last couple of times we had an opportunity to see him, it was just in flashbacks or in subsequent photos from when he was a little kid. And then of course we got in Curse of Chucky, we got the little tag teaser at the end with the post-credit scene. And so it was really good to see him back in the forefront again, and I like what they're going to do with Andy's character, and I'm excited to see what they ultimately plan to do with his character, because there's some things that they can ultimately do with his character, the way the film that was left open-ended. Again, some of the era characters, Elisabeth Rosen as Madeline, she played this crazy lady who was basically Madeline. From what we understand is she apparently maybe killed her child in a fit of rage. You know how sometimes parents get, sometimes you just get a little worked up, you get a little bit tired, child starts screaming, and the first thing you want to do is you want to do something about it. It's revealed in the film that she has done something, but the relationship she has with Chucky is very strange and unorthodox, and the way that it ends up is very interesting in a way. Grace Lynn Kung as Claire, I liked her, I really did. She was like the rational one at first, and then once she ultimately realizes Chucky's alive, she hops on the bandwagon like everybody else. Marina Stephenson, Kerr as Angela, again, she was a troubled lady. From what I understand, they found her in the street wandering. She ultimately thinks she's a ghost, and it's very creepy. It's very strange to see her, because again, she thinks she's this ghost figure, and I'm thinking to myself, lady, are you crazy? You ain't no ghost. People can see you. Again, most of these characters were more so supporting characters, and then we focused mainly on Dr. Foley, Nica Pierce, Chucky, obviously, and of course we focused in a lot on Alex Vincent as well, with Jennifer Tilly popping up here and there as well. So those were our main stable characters. So I thought everybody did a fantastic job acting here. I mean, everybody was basically acting like themselves from the former movies, in terms of the original returning cast. So getting to like my final thoughts on the film, I enjoyed the kills. I enjoyed the minor jump scares. He had one jump scare in there, and I was like, okay, everybody has to have one jump scare. I enjoyed Chucky as always. I love seeing him on screen, whether he's just cracking jokes or whether he's harming someone in some kind of way. I always enjoy seeing him. But ultimately, I think the film fell kind of short. I really enjoyed Curse of Chucky, and not because it went back to the, is he the killer, is he not the killer? We know Chucky is the one doing this, so just go ahead and put him out front, and it worked. But in terms of story wise, it kind of was all over the place, and certain things continuity wise don't make sense anymore. Like, apparently there's this new thing that Chucky can apparently do, and they don't really explain it too much. They just kind of make one little offhanded comment about it, and we're supposed to accept it. Just like something happens to Nica at one point in this film, and we're supposed to believe that apparently now that something has happened, she can ultimately do something that she couldn't do before. So certain things in here weren't fully explained, and I hate that when horror films ultimately don't explain things. I'm not saying you have to explain everything to me like I'm a child, but still, if you want me to suspend the disbelief, then I need to at least know that you're trying in terms of explaining things, because you don't just introduce stuff and don't explain it. I like my movies to be kind of fleshed out, and I felt like this one wasn't fleshed out, and it fell a little bit short, especially compared to some of the other predecessors. Now ultimately, this film is still way better than Child's Play 3 and Seed of Chucky. Way better in terms of quality. And I also want to add in the fact that one of the things I think would really hurt this movie was we didn't get enough backstory on the other supporting characters or the characters. I mean, again, our main focus was on Nica and Andy and Tiffany and Chucky, and again, to a certain degree, some H. Howell's character when she popped up and every once in a while. But ultimately, I feel like we didn't get enough backstory about the other characters. So once again, we have another horror film where if we're not caring about our characters one a little bit, then who cares when they get killed off? There's no emotional weight to it. And there and again, you're not, people who check into Chucky movies or slasher films aren't ultimately wanting to necessarily care about the characters. They're more so wanting to see some interesting kills and see how they're killed and their ultimate reactions to being killed. But still, it would be nice to have other horror films like It, or certain other films that have come out this year like Split, where you get emotionally invested in characters, and when they ultimately start dying, it means something to you. It carries some weight to it. But my overall final thoughts: I enjoyed the film. I do recommend you guys checking it out. I do think that you guys ultimately should give it a chance. Again, it's a film worth checking out. You do need to have seen the other films to get this film. This isn't one of the films like Curse of Chucky where you could go into it blind, never seen Child's Play 1, 2, 3, Bride of Chucky, or Seed of Chucky. But it would enhance your experience, especially towards the end of Curse of Chucky, when we get the big reveal of him pulling off the mask and we see he does have the cuts on his face. With this one, it's exactly the same way. Certain things happen in this movie. If you haven't seen previous ones, then it kind of ruins it for you. And in terms of a post-credit scene, there is a post-credit scene. A cameo appearance by Tiffany's doll is in this movie as well. And there's also a cameo appearance by an old character who I will not spoil. In terms of a score, I'm ultimately going to give Cult of Chucky 6 out of 10. I think it was an above average horror film, certainly better than Wish Upon, Bye Bye Man, Friend Request, some of these horror films that have been coming out lately that have ultimately been disappointing. I think you guys should really check it out. I think you should pick up your copy, pick up your Blu-ray DVD. Again, I'm actually reviewing this on October the 2nd, the day before it actually comes out. Again, I was able to get my hands on an early copy of this, thank goodness. But you guys should really check it out. I haven't seen any of the special features or anything yet. But in terms of cinematography, it looks beautiful as well. It's a really well shot movie in terms of looking at having an asylum for your main setting for the movie. So it looks beautiful. So you guys need to definitely go pick it up. In terms of how many cups I'm going to give this, I am ultimately going to give this movie 3 out of 6 cups. Hashtag how many cups. Again, make sure you tweet at movie_Java. They turn movie fans like you and I into certified film critics and have your opinions validated and retweeted and shared with other film fans who also are passionate about movies and films as well. So make sure you always tweet them at movie_Java. Thank you so much for checking out this review. As always, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell so you'll be notified at every time a video drops. Also, please make sure you go support me on Patreon, guys. It's really important. That's how I'm able to keep this channel afloat and how I'm able to post these videos and content and ultimately promote them and get the editing done that I need done to them. So please go follow me on Patreon. But if you don't feel like supporting, hey, it's totally understand. Thank you anyway for coming and checking out the video. As always, thank you. And as I always say, remember to become a savage, stay a savage, and peace out, y'all. Later.